They ruled for 6 centuries, conquered 3 continents, controlled trade, religion, culture, and kings. And yet, you've probably never heard their full story. This is the rise and brutal fall of the Ottoman Empire. And if you think this is just history, you're wrong. Because what happened to them is happening again. It started with one man, Osman I, a tribal warrior in 1299 with no army, no gold, and no land. Within one generation, his descendants built an empire so powerful, it brought the Byzantine capital, Constantinople, to its knees. And that was just the beginning. How do you build a superpower from nothing? You recruit the best fighters, and you take children. Christian boys were stolen from their families, raised as soldiers, trained from age 7 to kill, obey, and die for the Sultan. They became the Janissaries, an elite force feared across the world. No wives, no money, no freedom, only loyalty. And it worked. By 1453, they had cannons, massive siege weapons never seen before, and they used them to break a city wall that had stood for over 1,000 years. Constantinople fell. The world changed. From there, the Ottomans exploded outward. They took Egypt, Syria, Greece, Hungary, the Balkans, North Africa. Under Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, they didn't just win wars, they dominated science, art, architecture, law. Their capital, Istanbul, became the most advanced city on earth. And their empire stretched farther than Rome at its peak. But power always comes at a price. The same system that made them strong began to rot. The Janissaries became corrupt. Sultans turned into figureheads. Science was banned. Printing presses were illegal. Europe surged ahead. The Ottomans stood still. Worse, they refused to admit it. Their rivals were learning, building, innovating. The Ottomans were praying, plotting, and protecting tradition. By the 1800s, they were no longer feared. They were mocked. The sick man of Europe, they were called. Then came the final mistake. World War I. They chose the wrong side. And when the war ended, so did their empire. In 1923, the last sultan was exiled. 600 years of dominance, gone. No bombs, no invasions, just irrelevance. Now here's the part no one wants to talk about. Every empire falls this way. It never starts with defeat. It starts with comfort, arrogance, denial, and then silence. So the real question isn't what happened to the Ottomans, it's who's next. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes if you listen closely. If you made it this far, you're already ahead of most. Most people forget history, you just lived through it. Now the question is, what will you do differently? Subscribe for more true stories they don't teach in school. The next empire is already rising. Make sure you're not standing where the last one fell. The Ottoman Empire surged beyond Anatolia, conquering Egypt, Syria, and Iraq. Armies clashed on ancient sands and new borders were drawn in blood. In the west, Ottoman banners rose over Greece and Hungary. Cities fell, and the empire's reach seemed unstoppable. From North Africa's deserts to the holy city of Mecca, Ottoman rule brought Islamic architecture, calligraphy, and the unity of pilgrimage. The empire's golden age shone with discoveries in science and astronomy. Scholars mapped the stars, and calligraphers turned words into art. But after World War I, the empire shattered. Once mighty walls crumbled and the Ottoman legacy faded into darkness.